Good morning, everybody. Solid Sports Video Blog episode 326. Thank you guys for watching. Today's date is April 9th, 2026. Let me check my sound because I'm actually at home. The last couple episodes I've been doing at my girlfriend's house. Let me see. Just want to check the sound, how I got my phone here. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. Thank you guys, though. I appreciate you guys for the support. We still at 482 subscribers. Hopefully, in the next few weeks we could get some more subscribers in here. Like I said, I got a little bit of more free time. Oh, my sound is good. Sorry about that. Some more subscribers in here. Yeah, that's my fault. My sound is really, really good. Okay. All right. Sorry about that again. Sorry about the lateness. Also, my brother, man, he dragged his feet this morning. It seems like every time I plan a live, um, he drags his feet as far as going to his little program that he goes to, so I can have recording time. But um, yeah, so that's what was the delay this morning. Uh, Usually he leaves around 9 o'clock, so I'll be having some time to set up the live. But he left late today, so um, that's why the lateness today. But appreciate you guys so much. We got some stuff to talk about. We look at the current MLB standings. We look at the NBA. The NBA playoffs is next week. The play-ins is coming. I think the play-ins start on Tuesday, I believe. But they ain't starting to form now. K Cunningham came back last night. I think that's huge for Detroit. Um, Boston probably still the favorite to come out the East, but we'll talk about all that. I'm gonna talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. That's why I got Giannis on my thumbnail this morning. I'm gonna just talk about how I feel the Bucks is going to go, in the near future. Um, and current injuries in the NBA. Victor Wemby's hurt. Of course, I just said Cabe just came back. So we'll touch on these injuries. So in the NBA. NFL news, draft, just a bunch of stuff starting to come out of the draft. Ty Simpson continue to come up, his stock starting to rise. And I'll talk about the Texans picking up CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, they 5th-year options. CJ Stroud, of course, have had uh, a hard couple of last seasons. So uh, I'll give my thoughts on that. And we'll touch on a little bit of the Tiger Woods thing. Like I said, this probably be the more information came out on that. So I'll touch on that. And the Angel Reese trade. I don't talk a lot of WNBA, but I give my thoughts on Angel Reese, Baltimore native, by the way. She got traded to the Atlanta Dream, um, I think earlier this week. So I'll talk about all that stuff. What's up, King Vaughn? Um, Landrala's Puppies, I think that's how you pronounce that. So thank you guys for being here this morning. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm already late. Like I said, I started a little late this morning. I tried to start at 10. Uh, MLB, of course, just getting started. Of course, the standings in MLB is 100 something games. So, uh, it's good to get off to a good start. But if you don't, just want to stay around 500 until June, and then you want to make your move, June, July. That's usually baseball how it normally goes. But American League East, Yankees 8-3. They lead the division so far. Like I said, the surprising thing about the Yankees is they pitcher. They pitching has been outstanding. Like I said, if they pitch and stay like that all season, they're gonna be a hard team to beat. Come playoff time, also, Aaron Judge ain't really hit his stride yet. So the Yankees, they got to be a good sign if you're a Yankees fan how they started the season. Baltimore Orioles, of course, I'm from Baltimore. I follow the Orioles. They're even at 66. They started off kind of slow, but they started to get it back to. But they played the White Sox. No offense to the White Sox, but that could get you back right. Then Tampa, Toronto, at 5-7. Boston 4-8. Boston off to a slow start. We'll see if they turn it around. Blue Jays, of course, defended American League pennant champions. We'll see if they turn it around as well. Central, Cleveland Guardians at 8-5. Minnesota even at 6-6. They second. Kansas City 5-7 to Detroit, and the White Sox all 4-8. Of course, Detroit came in as the favorite. We'll see if the Tigers turn it around. Um, of course, the Turk Struble. He's going to be interested all season long. Will they get him an extension or not? Look, I think they are though. I think Detroit's going to go in and pay him. I don't see why not. American League West Rangers right now lead that division. Seattle off to a slow start, 4-9 in last place. Um, Houston, LA, and the Athletics got 7 losses each, but LA and Houston had 6 wins. So, so that's that division is still like I said, I still like Seattle, but like I said, baseball sometimes you start off to these slow starts. Go over to the National League, Atlanta Braves, my team. That's my team that I root for. 8-5 right now, the division lead in the East in the National League. Mets, Marlins 7-5, right behind them. Philly 6-6, and then you got Washington at 4-8. Central, uh, Reds at 8-4. Milwaukee Brewers at 8-4 as well. They tied for the lead. Then St. Louis, Pittsburgh at 7-5. Pittsburgh, well, they got off to fast starts before the last few years, and then fell off the table. Cardinals, hopefully they hang in there at 7-5. Then the Cubs, who was the uh, favorite to win the division, they last at 66. So they in the same boat as Seattle, but Seattle is under 500. That's the difference, at least so far. West, LA Dodgers. So like I said, the Dodgers, man. Like I said, it's their title to lose. I really believe that. Mookie Betts is hurt again, but Sohei on the mound and with his bat starting to. Like I said, he's the best player in baseball. There's no question about that. They had 9-3 start, which I think is the best record in baseball. No surprise. Um, Diamondbacks and Rockies and Padres all 6-6. Rockies, I know it's early, but um, you know they've been the worst team in baseball the last couple of years. So for them to get off to a decent start, I think it's good for their morale. The Giants 5-8 are in last place in the division so far. But like I said, it's so early in the season. Um, 1 week and the standings can flip like that. So we'll see. Matter of fact, while we're here, let's look at some of the matchups for the weekend. Um, Thursday is usually an off day for a lot of teams, but we will check out some of the games for this weekend. I know, like I said, I don't have a lot of baseball fans. I don't know a lot in my life, but I've been watching baseball since I was a kid. So, but if anybody caught the Braves and Angels brawl, um, that was kind of crazy. I saw highlights of it. I didn't really, um, I didn't really see. Yeah, I see it live, and I didn't really um, see much of it. Uh, let's see. But I'm gonna just talk about Solar. Got both guys got 7 games suspension. So, okay. So, yeah. So a lot of teams are off today. Um, but there's some games today. Let's look at the notable series. Cubs Pirates. That's a early big series. Diamondbacks Phillies this weekend. Um, Twins Blue Jays. Uh, Yankees play the Tampa Bay Rays. Um, Red Sox Cardinals. I think that's a big series for the Red Sox to get back into a Rangers Dodgers. Mariners hosted Houston. So a couple of notable series for the weekend. So like I said, days could change. and a snap of a finger in baseball. Like we only in April. Like really, if your team by June is way out of it or not at 500, that's where you should start worrying um, about your team. But right now, just tread water, um, and uh, that's all you got to do in the major leagues. So that's what I would worry about. So let's just say your team is in last place right now. Um, Unless you didn't expect much from them this year anyway, I wouldn't worry too much right now. I'll wait till June, then start to see where your team is at by then. So you still got a month and a half for that. So all right, so that's the standings. Like I said, the aftermath for the brawl between the um, L.A. Angels and the Atlanta Braves. Yeah, Lopez. It's Lopez, of course, plays for the Angels, I believe. But I mean, this, in baseball, you see the brawls every once in a while. Yeah, so Solar. Oh, I'm sorry. So Lopez is out pitcher. I should have known that. Um, but they each got 7 games. I think Lopez is a reliever because with the pitchers, like if you're a starter, um, you only pitch every 5 days anyway, so they usually get a longer suspension. If you're a starter, if you're a reliever, you could just get like a regular suspension, like you do with a utility, but you would you a fielder, because you could play every day, so or pitch every day a little bit. So that's why they both got 7 games. Um, I'm trying to see how did it start. Okay, Solar started in right field, batted fourth. Oh, okay. Oh, he homered. Yeah, that's usually how the brawl start. You hit a home run, either you don't, either you show up the pitcher, or you go around the bases slower than you normally would. Okay. Yeah, but but sometimes those the brawls it be like well between the two players that usually start with the batter and the pitcher, but usually it's already some bad blood there. Um, Sometimes people gotta wait till the season to get back, so it could be that. Um, so, but you know, it's baseball. I don't really see too much into it unless these guys got a history, which I'm trying to look at this article. Um, but I think Solar. Well, what I read here, well, basically the gist of it that uh, Solar got a good career off of Lopez. He's done very well. So maybe Lopez was just frustrated, try to rattle him, and then Solar didn't stand for it. So it could be that. Um, and they used to be teammates. In 2024. So they used to. So I was like, I know that name sounds familiar because I'm a Braves fan. So like I said, it might be some underlying blood that they had, and they finally got it off. So um, I I mean, you don't play American League teams twice because it's an interleague series. So I doubt if they see each other again unless somehow both teams make it to the World Series. Uh, so that's the end of that. I mean, like I said, maybe they had some bad blood before. That's usually the case sometimes, or just simply um, a hitter getting the best of you. You might try to rattle them and throw a high pitch towards the head. It depends on how the batter reacts, and that's how things usually spark off. So, sound like it's since they teammates. I'm going to assume they had some issues way before this moment. So, and maybe Lopez uh, wanted to let him know. So maybe that's what it was. So we'll see. So both guys get 7 games. That's nothing wrong with that. No pushback for me. So um, all right. So that's our baseball for this week. Um, let's get into the NBA because, like I said, the NBA is really about to take off. Playoffs is right around the corner. To me, the NBA playoffs is I guess you could say the NFL. but it's one game. But the NBA playoffs is just like no other to me. Um, uh, the drama, the bad blood sometimes that comes from 7 game series. Like I said, I remember a time when the first round was a 5 game series, a best of five. Of course, that's been I might be off for a year, but like I want to say like I want to say like 04, 05 around that time. I think they implemented the first round to be 7 games, which at first like with change you always be like, why are they doing this? But now it's been a couple of eight seeds that's challenged. So ones or some twos, a little bit. You had some eights win. I think the only eight to win. I think Chicago. Well, Chicago won. I want to say it was 2011. I mean, lost. Philadelphia. I'm sorry, Chicago lost. They was the 1 seed when Derrick Rose got hurt. So that's one. And then the Heat. Um, was as a AC. Who did? Was it Milwaukee? Uh, who was the 1 seed that year? But the Heat. I think that was the last team to do it. But yeah. But we gonna look at the standings in the playoff picture, and then I'll touch on the Bucks. Um, like I said, it was real good to see Cade back out there. I saw a couple of highlights of him. But I think Detroit. I think this wound up. A lot of people were skeptical about. Even me was skeptical about Cade going down because they already had a hard time scoring. But I think without him in the lineup, I think Detroit, the other players have stepped up. And then you see last night, even though it was against the Bucks, last night, Cade was more the facilitator, and just letting them guys do what they've been doing. Scored 135 points. Um, I think it was their eighth time doing it, so that's a record for Detroit. Playoffs are still a different animal, but I think this injury was a blessing in disguise. They still gonna need Cade to be, like I said, when they need him to score. I think they still gonna need that, but I think him being out and then him coming back right before the playoffs. I think the Pistons are now. I think somebody, even myself now, I think a little bit differently about them. I think they really have a shot to come out the East. I still like Boston right now, and they are the favorites. According to Vegas, they're the favorites to come out the East. Boston is second. Detroit did clinch the 1 seed, by the way. Knicks right now are third. Them and Cleveland pretty much tied. Um, I saw some sports people talking this morning about how it might be better for the Knicks to fall to the 4 seed, um, to avoid well, Cleveland to stay in the 4th seed, basically what they were saying. So they'd rather play Detroit than Boston in the first round, and then um, it'd be good for the Knicks as well because they beat Boston last year in the playoffs. That avoiding certain opponents and stuff like that, personally, I don't like it. I think you just should go in and worry about playing good, being healthy and playing good basketball. I don't think you should try to even though it is about matchups, and the teams probably really do it. I'm not going to say teams don't avoid certain series or certain teams, but um, from my standpoint, I think I'd rather just play good basketball because if you're good and you believe that team is good, you might see them anyway. Even though it might be better to see them in the later rounds, but you're going to see that team anyway. So if I got to play somebody in the first round, so be it. Or if I got to play somebody in the second round, so be it. I don't think you should really look ahead that far. I think you should just focus on the opponent you have and take it from there. But I know it happens. I know teams probably do it. So we'll see. We'll see how the Knicks actually. Well, the Knicks has been, even though they got 50 wins, they, you don't see them as a real contender. Cleveland got a lot of questions as well. So, so that top four, you expect one of these top four to be the representative of the East. Um, so we'll see if they all make it out the first round. First of all, which I think most likely all of them will. But I like Atlanta. Like I said, they know they lost last night to Cleveland. That's a potential first round matchup there. The Hawks has played very, very well. Um, since Trey Young was let go, um, I just like their whole dynamic. So I think even though Cleveland won last night, I still think that'd be a tough matchup for the Cavs in the first round. Toronto Raptors kind of quiet. The Raptors have been quiet all year, but they right there at 6. Um, I don't know if they can beat anyone. You know, uh, I mean, I don't think they wouldn't be a favorite against anybody above them, but uh, I just want to see um, Brandon Ingram, of course, having a quiet good season. Um, but just keep an eye on the Raptors. Orlando Magic, I still think they dangerous. They was my pick to come out the East. Admittedly, I keep admitting it every week. Don't believe in them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think they're gonna get out the East now, but um, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a little bit of noise, push somebody, um, in the first round. Sixers, dangerous AFC, the Philadelphia 76ers. But of course, it's going to be health with them. Embiid, even Paul George. Paul George has played outstanding since he's been back. Tyrese Maxey, you will get out of him. Charlotte Hornets in a nice spot. Now, like I said, I don't want to say I've been higher on the Hornets than everybody else. The last 2 years, I thought they was going to do this last year. Of course, they fell off the table last year, but I like Charlotte. I kind of hope they get into the main playoffs. Um, but that means Miami or the Heat. Like I said, the Heat they 10th, but the Heat I don't understand them every year. They just make things harder for them. But I think Jimmy Butler was that X factor, so I don't know about Miami. Um, in that 10th spot. Of course, everybody else eliminated: Milwaukee, Chicago, Brooklyn, Indiana, Washington, all been eliminated for the last couple of weeks. We're gonna talk about the Bucks in a second. We'll go back to them. But right now, my favorite out the East is Boston. Um, but like I said, I'm starting to warm around Detroit. Probably be my second choice if I had to rank the teams who I think would make it out. I think Detroit would be second. I don't like the way the Knicks looking right now. Cleveland, of course. Everybody bring up the James Harden factor, and then everybody else either just not good enough simply, or like with Philadelphia injuries. So Boston is my favorite as I stand here today. Uh, we go to the West now. OKC big win last night. They clinched the 1 seed, so they will be the one, and San Antonio will be the 2. I think Denver basically going to win the 3. I think the Lakers just going to try to survive and hope that they get um, Luka and AR back. They tied with Houston for 4-5. I think they're going to wind up being the matchup. Minnesota, they 6. I don't think they can move up no higher. So Minnesota 6. So look like at least in the West, in the middle, we got Minnesota, Denver first round, which will be interesting because Ant-Man. So that's gonna be an interesting series. Houston, LA also. Kevin Durant, will Luka and AR be back? They're gonna need them. If not, I've got Houston in that series. Um, so playing teams: Phoenix, in 7th, Clippers in 8th, Portland 9. Warriors, they're going to be 10th. They too far behind. Our teams that's eliminated: New Orleans, Memphis, Dallas, Sacramento, Utah, all eliminated, of course, from playoff contention. Let's start at the top first. The Thunder, great win last night. Um, Let me see. I just seen I could put a poll in the chat because I want to know. And I think it's a good question. I think I saw it this morning on one of my sports shows. I watch the ESPN sports shows in the morning when I get a chance. And they pretty much ask, do you have the Thunder winning the title or the field? Which is an interesting question. I would take the field just to be safe, be honest with you. I would take the field. But the Thunder, if Chet Holmgren, I think he's going to be the X factor. Even though who they play last, like the Clippers, which probably might be their first round opponent. Actually, it would be if it was the regular standard 1 through 8. Um, and if he plays like that, SGA gonna be SGA. Jalen Williams, I still don't think it's all the way right yet. But we'll see. Um, but they still a formidable team. They play defense. They're efficient in the offensive end. But if Chet could give you, like, I know he had 30, I think he had 34 last night, 32 points. If he could give you like 25, 24 consistently, that elevates them to me. But the Spurs still gonna be an issue. Um, I hope Wemby plays one of these last 2 games. I hate this 60. I've started to not like this 65 this year for sure. The 65 game rule was kind of sucks because Cade, he's not going to. He should be first team All NBA. If Wemby don't um, play his games, he's not going to be first team All NBA. This mess with your money because your contracts, because basically NBA contracts are set in stone. Like, it depends on what you do on the court. But if you add your first team All NBA and awards and stuff like that, your max go up. So that's going to hurt contracts. Cave definitely deserved to be first team, and Wembyama also, but they both might not make it. Wemby got to play. I think the Spurs got 2 games left. He got to play 20 minutes in one of those 2 games. He did play last night. I think they got 2 more games left for him to do that. If not, he won't make the 65 game threshold. I don't like this rule, and maybe I'm being prisoner of the moment because there's a whole bunch of stats out there saying that most of the people that win the awards usually play more than 65 games anyway. So this is like an outlier year. That's what some people are saying. But this year in particular, I wish it wasn't because, like I said, those 2 guys are going to be affected by it. I think Luca now. I think he might don't make the 65 game threshold. He should be an All NBA player. So it's a lot of guys that's right under that. Joker, I think, is uh, on the edge. I think he can't miss no more games, but he's healthy, so most likely he'll play the rest of Denver's games. But let's just say he might up missing a game. That's gonna suck. He should be, um, first, second team. Well, he probably get first over Wimbyama. Maybe I don't know. But I think you should um, put it back into the voters' hands. Because this year I think you would need an intelligent vote to vote the guys. And whoever do get these, fill these holes. Congratulations to them. But this year in particular, I definitely don't like this rule. I think they should just go ahead and go back to it like it was. Put it in the hands of the voters to vote right, which don't always be the case either. But this year is going to really, um, it really is unfortunate this year. A lot of people just missing the 65 game threshold by a game or two. So, um, this out west. Like I said, I went on this rant last week, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm not gonna talk about it like I did last week because I was talking about the Warriors last week. I hope, like I said, by I like I said, OKC and the Spurs, they're gonna make it to the second round, no matter who's the 7-8 seed is. But I really hope it's not the Clippers or the Warriors. Just yesterday, I saw people pumping up the Clippers. They had a great second half of the season. They're a decent team, but where they are is where they are. They still only 2 games over 500 despite turning around. They did get off to a really really bad start. Um, them as Charlotte. Charlotte, them they have a similar path this season. Um, but I still think in a 7 game series they don't have a shot against OKC. Um, so I hope, like I said, I really hope they miss it. I hope the Warriors miss it as well because there's people already talking about the Warriors. Well, this, and that. No, they don't have a shot. They don't have a shot. Don't fool yourselves. So I'd rather see Phoenix make it. Phoenix had a overachieving year. So does the Blazers. So I hope they the last 2 playing teams. I went into it last week about why. I just got. I always say I got Warriors fatigue. I might sound like I don't like the Warriors. I just think the Warriors are. They passed. Their time is over with. That's all. I mean, it's nothing. They had a great run. All runs come to an end. They had a long run. 5, 6 years of great basketball. Then they squeezed out the championship at what, 22. Um, the Warriors had a great run, 4 championships during this run. I just think it's over with. I think unless they revamp this team. Like I said, the Jimmy Butler trade, I liked what they did that last season, but he goes down, so he's gonna have to, and he's older, so the Warriors, like I said, other than Steph, like I said, I would explore some things in the off season. See if I can improve the team, or maybe maybe let these young guys grow. Um, maybe maybe you'll just be a playing team for a couple of years until you're able to reestablish. But they got to start looking past Steph also. They got to start looking past Steph. I went into all that last week, so I'm not gonna go into that rant again. But I hope, like I said, as a fan, I'd rather see Phoenix and Portland make it through. But you got to play in. That's why they call it the play in. So wouldn't shock me if it's the Clippers and the Warriors. But I hope Phoenix and the Blazers somehow make it out. The Blazers right now are ninth, so um, Phoenix in good position at 7. You want to be 7 and 8 because you get 2 chances. If you lose, you got one more game. But if you're in that 9, 10 spot, you basically got to win out to make it. So we'll see. I like the way the Blazers play. Like I said, the Blazers have had a good year. They need to get talked about a little bit. The drama in the beginning of the season. I've talked about this last week as also. So I'm rooting for Portland and Phoenix to be the last 2 teams to make it. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's the Warriors and the Clippers. But I just don't want it to be them because the media is going to go crazy and make all these scenarios when they could possibly upset the Spurs or the Thunder. They're not. Like, it's not going to happen. They pretty much a lock for the second round. And I eat my words if it's somehow a miracle happens, but I think it would be a miracle unless somebody get hurt for the Thunder or the Spurs. They're not losing to any of these teams. But I just rather see Phoenix and Portland be those last 2 spots, the 7 and 8 seed. So that's my opinion. A lot of people didn't like it, but that's my opinion. So, yeah, I want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. Let me see. Can I pull up this? I'm trying to put a poll. Can't. There we go. So I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. Which y'all I'm gonna just put Thunder or the Field. Thunder or the yeah, Thunder or the Field. Okay, so that'd be the poll for this week. Got the Thunder or the Field winning the championship. The Bucks, like I said, a lot of course, it's really about Giannis. I mean, it's about the Bucks too, but it's really about Giannis. They don't see eye to eye as far as he wanted to play. The Bucks doctors won't clear him to play. But of course, the obvious reason why they don't want to get hurt because they probably gonna try to trade him in the off season. But the Bucks, I feel the same way about the Warriors. I just think they need to tear it down and start over. Thank you everybody who came through last night with the marathon video game stream last night. Thank you guys. I touched on it last night about the Bucks. I just think, like I said, to go back to moves that they made. Like I said, I think Chris Middleton. I understand he was injured a lot the last few years, so that's not a big one. But to me, I think I would have held on to Chris Middleton as well. Maybe anybody else could have been moved. I like Bobby Portis as well. Maybe him, but I would have kept Chris Middleton a little while longer. Like I said, they tried with Dame. I kind of like that they tried to get Dame there. Of course, he got hurt, but I think him and Giannis could have played well together. But I think Dame ain't really want to be there. Like I said, he wanted to go to Miami if he wanted to leave, but he's back in Portland where he never wanted to leave Portland. Like I said, so maybe that was a reason as well. Um, but Giannis, one of those superstars, he's not going to directly flat out say I don't want to be here. But you saw the little stuff that happened this year, the issue with the fans when they was booing him, and he had something to say about it. Um, just other little stuff like this situation now with him not playing. Um, so I think the writing's on the wall. I guess it's gonna be interesting what offers do they get for him because everybody knows they want to move off of him. So I think you'll get some low ball deals at first, but I think somebody might give up about 4 or 5 first round picks. It would shock me if somebody do that. Um, but Milwaukee, well, I'm on a I don't want to say I'm on the fence, but let's just say I'm gonna use this team as an example. Charlotte, right? Got a good core already. Um, what if they say, all right, we'll give you 5 first round picks for Giannis, but Giannis don't want to go to Charlotte. If you Milwaukee, do you still do it? Like, is you going to accommodate where he wants to go? He came out basically said he does want to go to New York, so he has said some stuff. He wanted to be a Knick, but the Knicks don't have the draft picks to do it, so they would have to be players. So do the Knicks? We're gonna see how much the Knicks really want to really give up. Cat, um, and pretty much your core, other than I think Brunson be the only one that won't get moved. Um, will you give all that up just for Giannis and then just hope the rest of the team out somehow? I think if I'm the Knicks, honestly, and I like Giannis, I don't know if I would do that. I think um, I would just hold out and hope he become wait to see your free agency because if he say you want to come here, even though I think he got another year left. Um, if I were the Knicks, I would wait it out. I wouldn't make no trade unless Milwaukee is willing to accept certain things. If they want picks and all that stuff, which you don't have, I would keep my players and just hopefully we get them in free agency. Um, but I just use Charlotte as an example. But I mean, we go to see because if they get an offer, they can't refuse this for to a team he don't want to go to. Um, will Milwaukee do it? We'll see because it's going to come out um, if a team made some type of offer. And then it's the organization. The crazy thing is the media probably criticize the organization. Well, yeah, but this is for your future. So there's gonna be some people that say, well, you should have took it. Then there'd be some people that criticize you if they just send Giannis anywhere. So we're gonna see a lot about the Bucks in the off season. They got a real big off season. Um, but Giannis still a top 5 player. Um, he been a little nicked up the last few years as well. Everybody thought the Bucks would be that perennial team in the East. So did I. But it didn't work out like that. First round exits. I think 3 years in a row, and then of course no playoffs this year. Um, and just for icing on the cake, Doc Rivers. I believe he's done. I think the Bucks going to go ahead but the Bucks made a mistake with him as well, hiring him in the first place. They should have stuck with Adrian Griffin. I was 20 games over 500 last year. Then they decided to go with Doc, or was it 2 years ago? But I didn't, like I said, I didn't agree with that. So like I said, it's the Bucks have made some mistakes, so they got to stand on it. I think they should just tear it down, trade Giannis for whatever you can get. If you want to trade him, try to get him to the Knicks. That's fine. I think it's going to have to take a third team though. Um, but I ain't gonna kill him though. If they just send him to whoever he give the best offer, I'm not gonna kill the Bucks for that because you got to look at your organization as well. Even though Giannis has been loyal to a fault, um, just like with Dane with Portland, sort of similar. Portland never won, but um, they tried to get Dane to another a spot where he can win. Even though he wanted to go to Miami, but it didn't work with Miami. So maybe they'd do that for Giannis. Maybe he'd go to another type of contender. Um, a lot of people threw the Lakers out there. That'll be crazy, but I don't know if the Lakers got the assets either. Um, and then we'll see what happened with LeBron. So just yeah, this was about Giannis, but like I said, it's about the Bucks organization as well going forward. So we'll see what happens in the offseason. The Bucks probably gonna be the most interesting. Them and the Lakers as well because um, it wouldn't shock me if LeBron just go in and retire because I really don't think he would. Well, especially all the stuff that came out in the Memphis thing, which I touched on last week. Um, I don't think he will leave LA. So I think if somehow they don't work out something, I think he might just go in and retire. People say he'll go to the Clippers. I don't. I mean, it wouldn't shock me, but I don't see that either. I don't. I mean, I really don't think he want to go back to Cleveland. I think he would, but I really don't think he wants to. Um, so, and I don't think he gonna go to. I don't think he's going nowhere else. I think it will be either Lakers retiring or Cleveland. I don't see him going. Of course, some people say Miami. He ain't going back to Miami. That's not happening. Um, and it's no other team I see him going to. So, yep. So that's that. So, next week, hopefully we got a show next week. I gotta look at my schedule, but we're definitely the playoffs will be pretty much set. We can give a full preview of that. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for the NBA playoffs, man. I can't. Like I said, it's gonna be great this year. The matchups, the storylines. We got a lot of stuff coming for the NBA in the next couple of months. So, gonna be a great playoffs. Can the Thunder repeat? Um, so that's your question there on the screen. Thunder or the field? Will the Thunder win it again, or somebody else be a champion this year? So, all right. So let's go ahead and move on to the NFL. Not a lot of NFL news to talk about, really. I'll touch on the Texans first. Houston Texans picks up the fifth-year options for C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. Of course, Will Anderson is a no-doubter. He's been a defensive player of the year type candidate the last couple of years. Um, he's been on this Texas defense, which really been the staple. Even though we thought Stroud will ascend, but he just haven't. Um, and my thoughts on CJ Stroud, I think, well, the offensive line been bad. We got to throw that out there for the Texans. The offensive line ain't been stable enough for him. So that's part of his struggles. But I also think, I really think the league adjusted to him after that first year. I think, the league probably see some stuff on tape and implemented that and, neutralized him a little bit. Um, yeah, so, but Stroud, he'll get 25, almost 26 million. That's not bad. Um, uh, I guess if you're Houston, I guess you don't mind waiting. But I guess, they've been, I guess my only thing is maybe you should go ahead and pay them because they've been a 10-win team the last couple of years. So that puts your first round draft stock, what you around at the most, what, 20, 21 or whatever it is. Because what is it, 14 teams in the playoffs? So 14 from 32 is 18. So yeah, so 18. So uh I mean you're not gonna, I mean you probably still get a quarterback, but it might not be the one you really want. So um Houston ain't really never signed no veteran behind Stroud, so I think they believe in him, but I think they're gonna wait and see what happens this year. But we still got a lot of offseason to go, so they could. Well, they pissed up the options, but I think you still can. Well, yeah, it says eligible for extensions, so they might be just about to set up to pay both of these guys, so that might be what's going on as well. Um, but everybody else in this class, I think, Herbert, was he in the same class as Herbert? No, he was in. No, my bad. He was in the class with Bryce Young. Um, yeah, because they went 1 and 2. I think Bryce Young. I don't think Carolina give him a contract. I think they did sign him to a contract, if I believe so. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I like CJ Stroud. I think he is the quarterback. I just they got to get that offensive line together. Um, and the defense has been great. Houston, now they got some challenges. Jacksonville is right there now with them. Um, uh, we'll see what the Colts do. They look like they're gonna still stand behind Daniel Jones. Um, and well, Tennessee still trying to figure things out. With Cam Ward, hopefully he steps forward, have a better season. But yeah, these are three teams right there in the AFC South. So we'll see what happens from here on. But they could be, like I said, they could be just setting both guys up for extensions. So, all right. So draft news. Not really a lot of draft news yet. I think I touched on the Browns and yeah, I think I did last week. Like so Watson supposed to be healthy, so he might be the starter for the Browns. Of course, Kirk Cousins signed in with the Raiders last week. Um, I think it's good for the Raiders because I think he can. But Cousins, like I said, I think he's in a veteran role now. Like I like what he said. I shouldn't play it if I'm not the best QB. So basically, um, if Mendoza come in and really hit the ground running, he should start from day one. Basically, that's what Kirk Cousins is saying. He don't mind the backup role, being the mentor. Um, and I appreciate that, from players. Also, like Aaron Rodgers is probably the opposite of that. He's not coming to be no mentor. He's coming in to play. He's not coming in to be no backup. I think once that happens, I think Rodgers will go ahead and step away. So I respect both sides. I respect Kirk Cousins for this. But sure, he getting paid. Like his agent, man, which everybody been joking about. He got probably the best agent in the NFL. But Kirk Cousins is not. I mean, you got to put a lot of stuff around him, but I think you can win with him. You got to have a decent defense as well. Um, the Atlanta, I mean, yeah, he had a disappointing stay in Atlanta. I thought Atlanta would be. Um, I really thought Atlanta would be the best team in that division, even though with Tampa. Um, but yeah, that that was a good move for the Raiders. Um, and speaking of the draft, Mendoza won't be there live. He was going to stay home. Um, which a lot of people, some people make it a big deal out of that. If the kid want to stay home, be with his family, I think I did read somewhere that his mom got MS, so it's hard for her to travel. Um, and the draft is where's the draft at? Is it Pittsburgh? Yeah, it's at Pittsburgh this year. Because now they're starting to move it around. It used to be in New York. I think every year now they rotated to other cities. Um, I don't, it don't bother me that he don't want to be there. I mean, he knows, especially you're gonna be the number one pick. Like, why not stay home? With all your family and celebrate that way. They're gonna have all the cameras and stuff there at his house anyway. So, why not? So, but I see some people commenting, well, this don't look good for this bad for the league and all this other stuff. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all tripping on that. Whoever thinks that, I don't understand how it'd be bad for the league. Um, so, uh, yeah. So that's some people, like I said, the Ty Simpson moving up the draft. Like I said, we're gonna see if he go in the top 10 or not. Um, a real deep receiver draft. A lot of teams need receivers. The kid Love, the running back for Notre Dame. There's starting to be some rumors that he might go forward to Tennessee, which I wouldn't mind that. A lot of people say don't draft a running back in the top 10, let alone the first round. You could get a running back anywhere. But this guy, he seems like he's gonna be a transcendent guy. Tennessee need guys on offense, um, so I don't mind that move if that's what they wind up doing. Um, so they that's been a really tough. Like I said, a lot of rumors gonna come out between now. I think we still got 2 weeks left. 2 weeks from the day is the draft. What's the day? The ninth. Yeah. So the 23rd. Right. So we got 2 weeks to the draft tonight. I mean, starting the day is 2 weeks from the draft. So um, yeah, you're gonna hear about a lot of stuff. So yeah, but see, it wasn't a lot of NFL talk today. Not. I'm trying to look at some other stuff here. That's latest news. Um, oh, Giants fans probably. Um, uh, the DN. Yeah, Dexter Lawrence the second. Yeah, he requested a trade, and he ain't been at the offseason programs. Um, of course, John Harbaugh is now the new coach for the Giants. Um, he's optimistic that Lawrence going to come in. Um, Now, is it? I'm trying to see if it's over a contract. Um, yeah, I think it's over his contract. But the Giants are optimistic he's going to be there. Um, but we'll see. Um, yeah. Oh, so the last 2 seasons he's with a new deal. So, um, I mean, he's a great player. He's a good player, but we'll see how this turns out. Um, Also, me being a Ravens fan, I report this news: Lamar um, is at OTAs this season, so he's there um, practicing with the new regime, which I think is good. I mean, I wouldn't have worried about it if he didn't show up, but got a new head coach, a new coaching staff. I think it's pretty much right for you to be there just to get acclimated. Um, so I like that for the Ravens. I like only thing, like I said, about it's about just being healthy. Like I said, if he stay healthy, we'll be right there. Derrick Henry, I think really like to hear. Um, Defensively, we got to get better. That's why I think most of these picks should be defensive picks. We need an edge rusher, even though we got Henderson from Cincinnati, but we still need more pass rushing. And then some help in the back end. Offensively, we're okay. I like Zay Flowers. I mean, he's a number one for us, but I don't think he'll be a number one. I would say maybe half the league. So we need that dynamic receiver, which we pretty much haven't had in a while. You know, we got some good guys, but we more focused on tight end. Um, Mark Andrews, like I said, I hate that Isaiah Likely is gone. He went to the Giants, of course, familiar with Coach Harbaugh. But I honestly, and I love Mark Andrews as a Ravens fan, but if I had to choose between the two, I probably would with Likely because he's younger. Um, you know, Andrews is getting up there in age, so I probably would have tried to keep Likely. I probably would have let Andrews go, but they gave him the extension. You knew something was going to go down, so and we still got Kohler and other good tight ends to back up Andrews. So, but I think Likely is going to be a great player. Um, and just some light news. Sam Darnold. I think he got married or got engaged. Super Bowl champion. Um, Let me see. I just saw it here. Um, Seahawks. Like I said, I'm really happy for for Sam Donald. I really am. I said it when he won. Um, oh, okay, so he got married. Okay, so he got married recently. Oh, okay, last Friday. Okay, so about a week ago. So okay, but yeah. Well, like I said, I got what's this April? Like I said, just talk to me in June. I might have some news of my own similar to that, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. A lot of things going on in my life right now that I'm happy with. Um, so congratulations to Sam in all types of ways. Now he married. I think he found his place in the NFL. I was so happy that they won last year. Well, for his sake, for sure. In the Seattle, they're going to be a tough team still. They lost some guys, but they still gonna be a tough team in the West. And it'd be because of Sam Darnold. He played very, very well. Um, this season for Seattle. So congratulations to him being married now at the age of 28. That he seems so older than that, right? Seems like he's been in the league forever. But he only 28, so he only getting started. So Seattle, Mike McDonald, of course, he a former Raven coordinator. So I also was happy about that. So um, yeah, Seattle's gonna be around for a while. I think they gonna get challenged by the Rams, but I think the Rams window is short because of Matthew Stafford's age. San Francisco's just going to be there because of Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is a genius, even though he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. But San Francisco will be there. Arizona got work to do, obviously. But um, so shout out to Sam Darnold, man. Congratulations on getting married, man. Live your life. Now you're a Super Bowl champion, so all that noise will have to quiet now for him. Okay, not we about to wrap the show up, but I just want to touch on two topics, sort of uh, well, off the field, on the field type stuff. Right now it's the Masters. I gotta say I made a mistake last week. I thought the Masters was last week, but it was this week. Um, so I apologize for that mistake. I thought the Masters started last Thursday. It started today. So um, so the Masters is probably my favorite out of all the majors. That's probably my favorite. Like I said, I got memories of Tiger. I'm going to touch on Tiger again a little bit. When he won the first time, that really got me real more interested in golf. So I like the Masters. I think the Masters is probably the best major out the four, for the nostalgia and everything else. So don't really follow golf to give you a prediction, but I think Rory McIlroy is your defending champion. So we'll see what you do this year. A lot of young guys coming up as well. Um, but Tiger, basically, he's starting to somewhat take responsibility. He checked this, he said he's gonna get help. Um, prosecutors though about to look at his drug record, so I think he's about to be somewhat exposed a little bit. But I think this is what Tiger needs to really realize, that he needs help. He will always be. I'll always respect him as a golfer. I know some people I know some people that don't flat out don't like him for his for his stuff he did in his life, which I would never understood that from people but it's that celebrity thing. You feel like you know you gotta walk the straight narrow. You can't make no mistakes. But I think what hurts him, like I said, that he was trying to give off that persona that he was perfect, in a way, even though he never said the words "I'm perfect." But that was his image, and then once that image was shattered, um, People wait for you to fail, man. Trust me. Like, especially when you up there, people wait for you to fail or do something to say, "Oh yeah, yeah, you say you was this guy, but you this person or whatever." So that's all with Tiger, But I don't got no problem with him. I just hope he gets the help he needs. He got to take responsibility. That's my only issue with him, because he could have hurt somebody and he could have hurt himself. So that's my only issue with him. But as far as like all the other stuff, the thing that happened with his wife, all that stuff, I don't, that's not my concern. Yeah, it sucks, but that's not my concern. So that's all with that. But yeah, so they about to check his record, so I think more and more are gonna come out. Um, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully, I think he needs this, be exposed a little bit. Maybe that's to wake him up more. So, and one other thing, I don't really, like I said, I don't really talk much WNBA. I might try this year. Um, but Angel Reese, of course, Maryland native, Baltimore native, formerly with the Chicago Sky. They traded her a couple days ago for two first rounders to the Atlanta Dream. Uh, Everything that I read and heard, she was unhappy with the Sky, especially the last two seasons. They've been, basically they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't play well. She was hurt, I think, last season, for majority of last season. But the Sky still didn't play that well. I think the first year they made the playoffs. Um, but the last 2 years they didn't. And she voiced her opinion. I think they suspended her. Um, well, she wound up missing the game, but they only suspended her for the first half. I think she basically, I don't want to say she faked the injury, but I think an injury came up and she wound up missing the game anyway. Uh, and then she said some things like we need to get better players. Our players suck. Basically, stop. I'm paraphrasing. Um, and then she came out and apologized, but obviously, things I guess ran a course there, and she's now in Atlanta. People got all types of stuff to say, and Atlanta is Atlanta. I think she fits well with Atlanta though because she's sort of in the pop culture. She posts her little pictures and stuff. She's a beautiful woman, no doubt. Uh, I just think the hurt about especially the hurricane, the clock dynamic. I think it's overblown. Um, you saw how they got along for Team USA in the little preliminaries that they played. I think a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I think I think it's more competitive nature. I don't think she don't like play the clock and vice versa. I hope Caitlin Clark though comes back this year. I think the WNBA need her to be back. Um, I'm glad they got the CBA done, so we don't have to worry about that. But I think women's basketball is about to be back on the map. We see all the players in the college. Just saw the Final Four. Congratulations to the UCLA women by winning the title this year. But you see all these good players coming, and most of the women they stay all 4 years. So um, the WNBA about to be in good shape. Uh, so definitely I try to watch more this year. I admit I follow it a little bit, but I don't watch much. Um, but I am interested to see Angel in Atlanta. Caitlin comes back for Indiana. Um, it's gonna be a great set. I think the draft is sometime next week is the WNBA draft. So, um, of course, the girl from LSU, Johnson, she comes out this year. It's a couple of good players that's coming out of this draft. So, and I think in the WNBA, you could definitely make an impact. You see what Angel and Caitlin did their first year. Um, but like I said, I'm old school. I watched them in the inaugural couple of seasons with the Houston Comets, that dominant team with Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thompson. They big three, won 4 straight titles. Um, so I was watching during that era that I sort of, when the teams had to move and stuff like that, I sort of lost contact with it. But it's back, popular than ever. So um, I try to follow more this year. I probably do some updates here and there throughout the season. And also coming in June, we do every year our NFL Roundabout series. I probably do shorts and stuff on it, like I did last year. I used to do 4 shows on it, so it depends on how things go this year. But most likely it'll probably be just shorts. I do every team that week. It'll be every team. Every division they have their week. So can't wait to do that in June as well. So uh, got a lot to look forward to in the next few months. The NBA playoffs, WNBA season starting, NFL draft in 2 weeks. So we'll have more to talk about, especially next week. So I'll make an announcement. I don't know if it'll be Thursday, but it depends on my work schedule. We'll be back next week. Tomorrow night, Friday night streams is back with we're gonna play Call of Duty Black Ops. I picked a couple of easier games to play this week, and then Sunday we'll have a stream as well. So join me Sunday night as well. I might go on earlier Sunday. Might not wait till 8 p.m. Eastern. I know Sunday is at least I know when I was coming up, Sunday is like you go to bed early. For some reason, you go to bed early on Sundays than any other day. So I might come on like at, well, not that much earlier. Probably 7 at the earliest, 7 or 6, depending on how Sunday go. But thank you guys so much. That's our show for this week. We did about an hour. Appreciate you guys so much. So next week we, more MLB. We look and see how the standings looked in. In the NBA playoff preview, I give my predictions. My formal editions predictions next week. Even though I sort of put it out there. The West, I still don't know. I like OKC, but I really started worrying about the Spurs. But in the East, I definitely got Boston. But we'll see how the matchups look by next week. And of course, we'll talk about more NFL, any news that come out about the draft or anything else. We'll touch on that, and then any other sports topics that need to be touched on, we'll touch on it. Thank you guys so much. I'm Troy West. Said thank you guys. Appreciate you guys' support. We had a big turnout today. Thank you guys. Thunder on the field. Can I get my vote? No, ain't nobody voted, but I think most people. I think most experts that I see. I think they still will take the Thunder mostly, but they're gonna have a tough time. It's gonna be a tough go, especially if the Spurs do make it and they see each other in the Western Conference Finals. That's gonna be a heck of a series. Eastern Conference, like I said, I like Boston because they got the two best players to me, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So I think Jason Tatum is motivated. So I like Boston coming out the East, but I think I really started about late. Cade sort of made me think about Detroit. Um, the Knicks and the Cavs, I mean, maybe it wouldn't shock me, but I don't know about those two. And then everybody else below. Um, I like Atlanta. I like Charlotte the way they play. But we'll see. We'll see. But we'll talk about that next week. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for coming through. Hit the like button on your way out. Definitely share the video. Check out all my projects. Of course, we got some. I'm a gamer as well, so all my video game playthroughs is on playlist. I'm gonna put a couple of videos together today. Thank you guys last night for coming, playing marathon with me, or watching me play marathon. And thank you guys. So next week I make an announcement exactly what day will we be on next week, episode 327. We have more to talk about in the world of sports. I'm Troy West. Said thank you so much. Peace and love. Peace and love always. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night on Friday night streams with Call of Duty. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace and love.